Ah, yes. Like a spouse that does not forget their promises. We are here every morning at 6 a.m. We're better than any girlfriend or boyfriend you've ever had. Huh? How often do they keep their promises? Never is the answer. How often do we do it? Always. Right, Simphiwe?
Yeah, bro.
Damn straight. Good Friday morning, everybody. Got a lot to get into today, and it's the weekend, and everybody's feeling good about that because with all this cold, I don't think the weekend needs to be full of like things to do. It just needs to be full of warmth. That's enough for me.
I will tell. The only thing I need is cuddles. That's it.
All right, okay.
And be good. We can
So,
survive the rest of winter after this.
Are we thinking that means that Simphiwe needs a relationship just for the winter? What are we thinking here? Huh?
I mean, winter is almost up, so there's no time for a relationship. But maybe I must utilize those services, those cuddles, buddy services.
Remember, yeah. Who found that story? It was you.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God,
Paying
no.
900 rand for cuddles.
I think there's something so sad about that. So sad. What's happening, Ryan? Simphiwe's mic's what?
Testing 1, 2, testing 1, 2.
She's on. She on.
On.
You can't hear her? Eyeball. I can hear her.
I can hear you. Okay.
Oh, what's going on here?
Simon says, she's back now. They were just waiting for you.
I'm glad that you guys are happy that I'm back, that I don't sound like I'm taking, I'm in the shower or something like that. So
right.
But yeah, that was my 2 cents on like Elon Musk and this new company. Let's see where it goes, because last week, Mr. Mark Zuckerberg, he launched Threads.
Have you been on there again?
No.
Me neither. So I went on. Remember, you were like giving me props, and it's very good of you to have like jumped the gun here, and you've been testing out something new, and you beat me to it, kind of thing. And I'm like, well, it's amounted to nothing. So I'm not going back.
All the
on
hype
that.
has died. I've been monitoring it from afar.
I did see though that on my Instagram it tells me what number in the world I am on Threads, like in terms of not ranking,
okay,
but how soon I joined after. So I was the 39 millionth, 71,324th person to join Threads. 39 million people joined before me.
Sure.
It's not even impressive. And you said I was like ahead of the game. Oh, please. I was fast asleep.
Yeah, well, by the time I heard about it, 10 million people had already downloaded it. It was already the most downloaded app. So I was like, hey, okay,
39 million.
Let's see.
I'm not even in that top 5. I think they only have like 40 million people on there. Who knows?
We'll see. But the hype is gone for me. Completely gone. There's nothing about
Tracy says, listen carefully. 1100. Oh, yes. Very good. All right. So I've got the stupidest thing in the world to show you. You want to see something stupid to start your day?
Let's go.
All right. This is supposedly a sport. I don't know if this is for real or if it's just people taking the piss. I'm hoping that it's just people taking the piss, because if this thing is real, we've got serious problems in the world. I'm sure when you were a little girl, you used to play like hobby horse, where you'd get like the broom, and you'd like ride around like it was. You'd pretend it was a horse. Yeah, you'd pretend it was a horse. Yeah. And then, my sister did this. Most girls do it. A couple of boys do it too. Mm-hmm. It's like a thing that kids do, right? And it's not real. It requires a huge amount of imagination to make a broomstick into a horse. But apparently, there is an actual world championship of this stuff. So here it is. I'm going to show you this. Please do not think I've made this up with AI. Okay? This is not some bullshit thing. This is an actual sport that people play, and I suppose they do it in inverted commas professionally.
Hobbyhorse-Springlehrgang mit Marco. Er ist 8-facher MMA-Weltmeister und Hobbyhorse-Trainer. Begonnen haben wir mit Übungen für die richtige Springtechnik. Dann wurde geschaut, was die Teilnehmer bereits können und wo das Training weiter angesetzt wird. Schnelligkeit und die richtige Taktik wurde bei der nächsten Übung trainiert. Die Hindernisse...
God, I can't play more than
what,
that.
What did I just watch?
That's
what?
German, first of all. So only the Germans could come up with something like this. You watched like young girls with like pretend ponies jumping over jumps in an arena, and it's taken very seriously. The hobby horse, You saw in the beginning there.
Hobbyhorse-Springlehrgang mit Marco.
Horse jumping course. Yeah. Hobby horse.
There's even technique to how you must jump. You know, you need to
Can you take this seriously?
No.
No.
You know,
Do you think that? Okay, what's more useless, that or threads?
Both, like, at least no, you're not even that, because what is it doing? What skill set are you learning?
No, there's nothing.
I get
and there's
useless.
You're not doing anything particularly interesting there anyway. All right, so listen, on the show this morning, we have Ben coming in a little bit later on. We're, among other things, going to go beyond the scoreboard. We're also going to check in with Teemo ODV, who we haven't spoken to. He's a DJ and an amazing, amazing music producer. He's very cool. He has, since we last spoke to him, he's got married.
What?
Yeah. He's got lots of things to talk about in terms of his music. We'll get into that. It's been 6 years since we had him in the studio.
Sure.
It's a long time. A lot could happen in 6 years, and has.
Mm-hmm.
And George Mienie will be dropping in a little bit later too with the AutoTrader Pod. That's all coming up. So we got lots to get to today.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, there is a crazy conspiracy. Again, this has to come from Simphiwe with her crazy conspiracies. And at least you don't have any. At least you don't have any like quizzes for us that are supposed to reveal some deep, like, meaningful secret about yourself. Because Simphiwe finds one of those every week too. But there's this crazy conspiracy that anyone who's born on the 28th of any month will be the most successful person in their generation, or one of the most successful person in their generation. Now, I've heard this before.
Okay.
And I dismissed it, but you say you have some names.
Yes. Right.
Names, right.
And I'm excited. This is one conspiracy theory I'm buying into 110%. I'm like, let's go. I think this is true. So they did a study. They did a study with like 100 like wealthy people, right? Okay. And 15% of them were all born on the 20th.
28th.
28th, yes. 28th.
15% of them born on the 28th. That's a large proportion.
Yes.
Considering there are, 30 odd days in every month. Let's average it out at 30.
Cool.
Which means you should have something like 5 or 6% at maximum, if that's an even spread.
Yeah, bo.
And we've become good at this spread thing because now we do Supabets, and so we understand where to place our money. So I'm thinking that's quite a high percentage. The 28th.
But here are some of the like wealthy people that were born on the 28th.
I'm on the 26th. Does that give me any? Get it counts for absolute shit,
You're not part of this gang. You're not part of the 28th gang. Okay.
Really?
So we have Bill Gates, who was born on the 28th of October.
Okay.
We have Elon Musk, our very own,
yes.
was born on the 28th of June.
Right.
We have Carl Slim, who was born on the 28th of January.
Mm-hmm.
Boom shaka boom. You have Simphiwe Zamagilum Tata born on the 28th of March.
Okay, there we go. But, all right, so just logically, if you take every day, it should have a spread of about 3.3% per day. And you're telling me on the 15th, the 28th, 15% of the wealthy people. Now, yours is also 28.
Yes, that's
this
why I
is
know
why
this
you believe.
Yeah, I believe it.
So this is why you believe this conspiracy. I knew there was some personal reason that you would have to take this seriously.
And just to add some sprinkle to this, right? Rolex, right? The watch brand that is associated with wealth and opulence. In all their ads, when they show the time, they always put 28.
Really?
Yeah.
Wonder what that means, because in numerological terms, and we were talking to Law this week, her husband is a numerologist. 2 and 8 is 10, right? And 1 and 0 makes a 1. So it's always number 1, the start of new things, the leader number, all of those kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there's something to it. Who knows? Again, this is for many people.
I'm buying into the sun. I am like, let's go. Give me a few more years, guys, and I'll be a gun girl. Like,
of course you are. Already someone is saying here, oh no, not Simphiwe and these studies of hers. Lovely Lady Lee. Lovely Lady Lee, you have little faith. Obviously, her birthday's not on the 28th.
Yeah, this is why you're mad.
Yeah.
Like,
so all the lizards are born on the 28th, says Clint. He calls Simphiwe a lizard. Anyone born on the 29th of Feb, says Hardy Dave. Jesus. Yeah, so it's 30 days hath September, April, June, and November. All the rest are 31, except for February alone, which has but 28 days clear and 29 in each leap year. That's how I remember what the months are.
Well, I use my knuckles.
Oh, I've seen this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So you
50
go
weeks. So January, February, March, April. So when it's on the actual knuckle, that's 31
31,
days.
right?
And then when it's not, it's 30.
That's good. See how people are clever. They come up with these things because you imagine like back in the Middle Ages, people knew what a calendar was, but they knew they had to work, right?
Yes.
so they're like sit there going, I'm going to figure this shit out of my hands. I mean, we joke about them, but I remember growing up with calculators.
Oh, yes.
So our parents never had calculators.
Oh, that wasn't a thing.
They didn't have calculators when they were at school. They had to go, and before that, they had an abacus or something. But
Oh, yeah, where you like, there's 10 on every, and then you, I
That's
remember
right.
that. That was a
So-
toy.
okay, exactly. Like kids play with that stuff. But they
Yes.
used to use and you must see these people who like used to count professionally on an abacus in like a, they would do this in a small shop or whatever. In China, you see these people moving these beads like this and so quickly, and they know exactly what's going on. So if you're proficient at that stuff, like if you give anyone born after 1995
Mhm.
a calculator, they're going to go,
No, I
what's that all about?
No, I
They'll use their
disagree.
phone.
I disagree. I grew up with a scientific
Watch
calculator.
this.
Even
I go like this. I go, Siri, hey Siri, what is
Hello there. What can I do for you?
what is 15 times 34? That's what I do.
15 times 34 is 510.
Thank you, you bitch.
yeah,
That's what I do.
but like growing up, I remember that you had a calculator, and then there was like the scientific calculator.
Oh, I like those.
Yeah,
Had
and
those
that
at
could
school.
do all the like the tangent things, the sin things,
Time,
the what.
sand, cos.
y-
Yeah,
all-
for
all of that.
trigonometry. I remember that
Yes.
shit.
Yes.
I like
yes.
that.
And then there's even a financial calculator, which I learned about in varsity.
Yeah.
So I don't know what makes it any different. It just looks like a random old calculator, but it actually helps with it helps with, I don't know, calculating credit balance. I don't know, but that thing looked very basic.
I just got a comment from Dr. Jonathan Witt, who was on the show this week. He says the end of the month would be roughly 9 months after a payday. All right. People are getting laid because they have money and alcohol. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the 28th is that would make a lot of sense. People, if people are going to choose a birthday for their kid, would you rather have it at the beginning of the year or at the end? I've got a reason to ask this.
As someone who actually has a birthday fairly up at the beginning of the year, I prefer end of the year celebrations because you've actually gotten time to accumulate certain things. You've formulated better friendships with people. Also, the weather is allowing. Like, there's something about summer and spring that just is like, let's party, let's go out.
You were
as a-
wrong. I'll tell you why.
Why?
So there's an advantage to your kid being born in the first couple of months of the year.
Oh, okay.
And that is that kid will be more advanced than the other kids in their grade at school, for example. So in sport, they'll be a little bit more mature. They'll have grown a little bit more.
I see that now.
And their brains will have developed a little bit more. It's a real advantage. So kids who are born in January, February, and March
Look at this.
are
I'm destined for
generally, I mean,
greatness.
obviously there are exceptions to this rule. There are exceptions to all rules.
Yes.
But it is better for your kid to be one of the older kids in that age group
Mm.
than to be one of the younger ones. Just for all the competitive reasons that we already assume. And that makes perfect sense when you think about it. Like if you are just 2 or 3 months more advanced,
Yeah.
if you're a whole 9 months more advanced, like the kids who are born in December
Mhm.
are going to have, there's a huge gap between them and the kids who were born in January of that same year.
Sure.
Right? But they may find themselves in the same class. So they're classified in the same age group, but it's actually a huge advantage to be born at the beginning of the year. So there's another piece of info when we're talking about these random dates. And if you think it actually matters,
I'm taking
does.
this one seriously.
Yeah,
It correlates
so-
with just me
so
being
basically,
successful.
you win on both fronts.
Yes.
Yeah, because you're beginning of the year
Mhm.
and 28th.
I mean, I'm destined for greatness, guys.
good.
Like,
And she basically wants presents every year and then puts out a list on the internet and everybody just has to help her. It dawned on me, says Richard, very late in my life, that my birthday is 9 months after my dad's birthday. Oh, mom was like,
Let's
birthday
get
present.
it.
Shame. That means either that your mom withheld sex from your dad, except as a birthday present, Richard, or that was a particularly special celebration. Ruth says, Rebellious Ruth, of course, the chairperson of the comments section, says, mine is the beginning of the year and everyone has always gone on holiday and broke.
Yeah, you see, this is why.
Yeah, but don't think about the celebrations. You're not 12 anymore, Ruth. I know you're not. You're too old to be worrying about the party.
It's a celebration. You need to always worry about the
Please.
party. You need to always just like, the one thing I'm not envious about is people that have birthdays in December, because you don't feel special, because there's always groove happening. There's always a turn up happening. And you just become it's your birthday. Let's go drink. Yippee pure. And then they still party the rest of the month.
So listen to this quickly. Tracy says, my kid did that abacus visual maths for a while. It was amazing. But it interfered with the prescribed school maths. You could get the answer in a flash, but the school wants to see how you get there. They want to see your work.
Oh, yes.
Remember, like long division? Remember that bullshit?
Oh, that thing traumatized me. Like,
long division. What kind of a waste of time is it for you to give kids long division in the year 2023? I understand the simple use of an arithmetic problem for kids to solve from a logic point of view. You've got to learn the logic, right? The process is logic.
Yes.
And logic is severely missing in the world today. You explain to people, well, if you do this, then that.
Yes.
And they go,
No.
I don't understand.
No, they'll tell you, no, that does not always mean that. Like, there's a lady on TikTok that I saw that she was like, 1 + 1 is not 2, and that's actually discriminatory.
Oh my god! Oh no, you get that. Now that kind of shit.
And I was like, wait, when did maths become like a whole discriminatory thing?
Oh,
like,
you must be kidding.
1 + 1 is definitely 2, guys. It's not a. I think it's not. I feel it's not.
I feel like 1 + 1 should be 8. No, you stupid idiot. All right, so here we go. Nikki says, my daughter's birthday is the 24th of December. It's a long year of when is my birthday? Mid-year would be best. I don't know. I mean, again, the research shows that kids who are born at the beginning of the year have an advantage over the other kids of their age, but there's always exceptions. And maybe your kid is born on the 31st of December.
I just give up. I give up. I just be like, you know what?
Saying you shouldn't even bother.
You just be like, I didn't choose this life thing. Nah, I didn't choose it. Guys, it is what it is. I'd be like that.
Oh, no. Don't give up. Don't listen to Simphiwe, all right? If your birthday's late in the year, just pretend you didn't hear this show. All right, and just don't do any hobby horse courses if you don't mind. That would be stupid. All right, before Ben gets in here, because I know he's not going to care about this at all, but Barbie is all the rage.
Yes.
Everyone's talking about Barbie.
Yes.
I even know grown female friends of mine who are going to watch Barbie this weekend.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Are you?
I won't be watching it this weekend, but I'm so excited because I'm like, I think this is the first time in a very long time we've seen some good marketing behind a movie.
Yeah, that's true. I'll give it that. Yeah.
That's what it's created. They were like, Barbie's coming out. I didn't care about this. And then they did this massive rollout. And I'm just now, I find myself invested. Like, I find myself wanting to know, when's this movie dropping? What is happening? And then now I recently discovered like AI has kind of generated like Barbie's dream house in all the different countries, right?
Right. This is what AI, people are not using AI to solve serious problems, help people who are stuck without the internet in the middle of the jungle. They're not trying to help people cure ugly medical conditions, although I've heard amazing things about how AI eventually, because we keep thinking, and I don't mean to distract you from the Barbie thing, but I heard something just 2 days ago about how AI in medicine is going to eventually take the place of a lot of radiologists, for example. So radiologists will take a look at x-rays and scans of various kinds, and they will be able to then help identify where things are right, wrong, broken, need fixing, need attention, all of that stuff. That's what they study. And they've figured already that AI can pick up more by looking at that information than a human eye can. Even a well-trained, well-heeled, well-experienced radiologist. And listen, I'm not going at radiologists here. I know that they know what they're doing.
Yes.
But you got to accept that at some point, it'll kind of be malpracticed and not at least let the AI have a once over.
Oh, yes. If there is one specific industry that I'm like, AI is just going to wipe out, it is the medical industry.
Well, parts of it. for
Yes,
sure.
because already, like,
Definitely.
even with the surgeries,
Yeah.
it's 10
Yeah.
times better and much more safer. So,
But that's AI when it's being used properly. Now let's
Yes.
talk about AI when it's being used for stupid reasons. So they've done Barbie's house.
yes, in all the different like countries in the world, you can go Google the rest.
Here it is.
né?
No,
But
we've got pictures.
yes, but I'm saying we're only going to show a few. They did for every country in the world.
Oh, Jesus.
So for the others you don't see,
All right, let's go. So where do we start? Antarctica.
can you? They even did for Antarctica.
Antarctica.
Can you believe it?
Yeah, I could not believe it. All right, here it is. There's Barbie's dream house in
So
Antarctica.
icy.
It does look that looks kind of cool. I mean, it's very open though.
Yeah,
Right.
I think most of the houses are like that.
Yeah, I mean,
it's-
that's stupid. So AI is stupid in this one. This is where it still has a long way to go. Because if you look at that, hey, Ben. Ben's in.
Hey, everybody.
How are you? There we just getting
Sorry,
on
guys,
camera.
just getting set up here. You carry on with
Oh,
Barbie's
okay.
stupid house.
So it is stupid because look, she doesn't have doors and windows on this thing and it's open to the elements, right? We don't want that.
Yeah,
If you live in Antarctica, the first thing they should do is give you somewhere warm. I don't see a fireplace. I don't see any protection from the elements. It looks very nice, but
stop criticizing.
Okay.
It just looks
all right,
pretty.
here's Ukraine.
I was actually surprised they did one for Ukraine.
Yeah, because it should be bombed out. What's that, Ben?
Is that really short guy in semi-army fatigues in the house?
The short guy who they complaining already is too short to go on the start a war ride.
Yeah.
That guy. Okay, so here's Ukraine. Then we've got South Africa.
Yes.
That
Which
looks
I
like,
feel like it's more like Cape Town vibes.
yeah,
But now, does Barbie have that in Waterfall Estate, and is it in his son-in-law's name?
probably. If Barbie works for the government.
Because then it would be South African.
Yeah. Nigeria.
Ooh, that does give me Niger vibes.
Yeah, it's also a little structurally unsound. It looks top heavy. So I'm not saying anything about Nigeria.
Looks like her uncle put that together too.
Yeah. China.
Ooh.
Okay. All right.
Mm,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Of course, if Barbie is not rich in China,
I get.
Mm.
it's not going to be very
I
nice.
get son.
Spain, they've got a whole, that's a very nice sort of Barcelona, Madrid look going there. Like, It's
Okay.
very, very
I
pretty.
don't want to be the one that said, but hey, I'm going to. It just looks like a selection of brothels.
It does, they do all look like brothels.
I think there's a lot
With
of
different
girls. Like,
lighting.
Here's Australia. That's very ordinary.
Yeah,
And
it looks like it's
Japan.
in the
Ooh.
jungle. Ooh.
Japan. You see that?
see, Japan always get it right.
They-
Less brothely.
It's less brothely.
Ah, this is
They
a
do look.
dream
It's the
house.
lighting that makes them look brothely, though,
It is.
because
Yeah.
they always use a bit of pink and
It's
red.
that- it's
Red.
that-
Red is famously the color of brothels.
It's a happy, nice place. Don't worry about us.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
brothely.
How you been? What's news?
Guys, I have not had a good week.
Why?
Ew.
Well, I had like, after the show on Friday, I spent the entire weekend with horrendous flu, so I couldn't do anything.
Sure.
And the whole point of being me is not to get flu. And here I am, like any other dickhead, just getting sick.
Yeah, I did. You did
Have
come in with a
meals-
scratchy throat last week.
I
I
had meal
remember.
exercise, and
Oh,
then
no.
I played a game of paddle. Now I've strained knee ligaments. So tying
listen.
shoes is bad.
You're going to be interested in this. So Anthony Mederer told me yesterday. He popped
Yes.
in. Who does blind history
Yes,
with
yes.
us, and he said he is the guy who is supplying those baths. Those what do you do? The thing that you do for the cold
The
plunge.
cold plunge, the pods.
Yeah.
What's he supplying?
But they are high end, right?
Yeah,
This is a
I see.
luxury item.
so
It's expensive,
you
but
get
he's going to be
these-
supplying them to some very, very wealthy people and to a few of the very, very smart gyms.
So you get
Ooh.
like the high end ones, like 80 grand up, but
That's
then
it.
it's a self-regulating system.
Yeah, it's got a
So
little. You can actually set how many degrees you want it.
You want to go in there with your 3 degrees and see how
Mm,
quickly you
some
turn
good
blue.
Yes, I'm telling
And
you.
they're beautiful things. They really are.
Yeah, and he said you start off because he's been doing it. He's obviously testing it. He's importing these himself. Such a clever guy, right?
Mm.
He started off at 10 degrees. He said you don't want to like shock your body, and you don't want to be sore straight away.
Yeah.
So he started at about 10 degrees, and he's taken it down. He said he's at about 5 now.
Amazing.
When you get to 3, he says it's really sore.
Yeah, it is because it's basically freezing. And like
Yeah.
I've been going on this approach, right? Leave the tub outside; it'll
Mhm.
incrementally get colder.
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to do it for now over a week because I've had this really bad flu.
Yeah, you don't want to like make your
And
flu worse.
It went from 10 degrees to 6 degrees in the day that it snowed. And Daniela's doing it every day still. So she gets to really appreciate the week where winter made it happen. And the types never look better at 6-7 degrees now. And I haven't been able to do it. And it has. It's like ruined my productivity.
You haven't had to add anything like ice or anything to it. It's just stayed cold.
You wake up, you look at that thing, and it's so crisp. And that cold water is so incredibly inviting.
Really? It's become inviting to you.
Guys, every single day, I'm starting off a grumpier person. Shit. And it's not just because it's become a learned habit or I've joined a cult or whatever. It's just my body functions differently now. And I'm like,
so since you're not doing it, you're actually grumpier.
I find my productivity during the day isn't so great.
Wow.
I'm taking longer breaks over like coffee.
Yeah.
It's just not
you're doing what a Slack employee would
I'm just
do.
feeling like very average and shitty again, which is terrible. But again, it just confirms like the things I was doing is really suits me and is really good for my productivity and things. So I'm happy about that. But it sucks being average.
The beanie, someone says they don't like your beanie. I think it's
I don't care.
Sweden, huh?
Yeah, people
I got to my folks' place the other day.
Take me on.
And my dad was wearing one of these beanies. I said to him, that is ridiculous. You're going to be like, there's something about an old man wearing a beanie that just makes him look homeless.
Does your dad still have a moustache?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it. Probably does.
Because if he has the moustache beanie
and
combo,
the beanie,
that's the thing. That's the thing.
It's like a winter Magnum PI. Oh my God. All right. So let's get into a couple of things here. So Simphiwe has already told us if you're not born on the 28th, you're not going to be rich. And we figured out that if you're not born in the beginning of the year, which really fucks you, Ben, then you're going to be behind.
Sure. 2nd of December, losing both.
Yeah, I guess I'm not just...
Well, I mean, like Britney's evidence of that.
Just give up now, Ben. Like it's done for you. It's tickets. It's
I've had a good run, Simphiwe. As I just demonstrated, this week has put you back 3 years.
Yeah, I do want to hear your thoughts on Britney because you've always been a big Britney supporter. You guys share the same birthday.
Born in a golden age, early 80s. But yeah, I just think that she's
spun out of control.
She's run out of runway, essentially. It's, and it's a shame because how does someone like that ever get old? Because you haven't
with
really
dignity. She won't get old with dignity. She's going to be one of those.
That's out of the window.
She's going to be one of those messy, like Jennifer Coolidge kind of in White Lotus kind of thing. That's the best she can hope for.
That's the best she can hope for
because she's got money, and that money will be spent. She's going to leave nothing to those children she has with Kevin Federline and the other one. And I don't even know who the fathers of these kids are.
Well, I think she's got 2 dads for the kids. Oh. I think.
She doesn't have her own dad because she threw him out as her curator.
Yes. Okay, so dad picture is a mixed
Granddad's out of the picture.
But also, like, people like that, they don't, like, we have friends, okay? We've had friends through, like, normal camaraderie through life. And it's cool because then we go through life and we have different connection points to support. But when you're a celebrity like that, I don't think you ever have friends. You have people who have purpose, people who have functions, but they're never friends. So when you get old, they go because their function is not finished.
Right.
So you just have no one around you. Now, I think that makes you really old because she'll probably go to some place and like some young guy will end up stalking her and probably stealing her money. And then and it's even worse.
Yeah, that's very sad. And then the cycle continues.
And the cycle continues to eventually no one will recognize her and then she will be completely batshit crazy.
Well, she got hit by a bodyguard or a security guy.
The story,
yeah,
right?
I mean, that to me, that's a low. Like if you're actually looking for trouble with like some dude from the Congo, it's just or Albania or wherever he's from, I don't know.
Do you think she's saying "Hit me, baby, one more time"?
No, come on.
Yeah, the whole week to work that one out.
I know.
Nailed it.
All right. So Ben, let's get into some sport because I had a tremendous weekend of sport last week.
You're the reason why it snowed.
I know. That's why. And you've never heard those words come out of my mouth.
Those words. Right.
So let's go. Let's get into some sport. Here's some stuff you've been waiting for all week.
All right. Well, last week was a huge one, right? There was just sport coming out of every orifice of sportness. And it was great. And much to be expected. Drickers did win and South Africa won the rugby. And it was just cool. So we're going to take it down a notch this weekend, unfortunately, because there's just less of it. But not a bad thing, right? Rugby championship. So because South Africa don't play in the Sanzar Super Rugby thingy and haven't done for a couple of years now, the landscape of the Rugby Championship has changed quite somewhat. So we saw the imposters Australia come to Loftus last week and waste everyone's time, except for the drunks, because they like running rugby. And you could run right through that Wallaby team because they literally had no substance. And the thing about international rugby is, and the Boks proved this since 2019, you need a strong and solid forward pack. Simply, those are the really big oaks in the front.
Okay.
You need good ones and you need good replacement ones. And the Wallabies rocked up with just fatties and just bigger guys. So are New Zealand going to have the depth in the tight five who are tested at this level that the Aussies couldn't? Because to beat South Africa, you need a tight five. They're going to show up and really want to blix each other. So is that going to be the case for the All Blacks? I'm not entirely sure. And I don't have a lot of confidence in that. So tomorrow, 9:05 South African time, a sort of first choice Springbok team, because there's different combinations going into the World Cup, and 10 or 12 guys went early to the land of the long white cloud. And I think
New Zealand.
they're going to be up for it. I got to be honest with you. If you go onto the Supabets site right now,
Can I ask you quickly, because now I've suddenly redeveloped an interest in rugby after we won last weekend.
Yes,
I'm one of those
handsomely.
I'm one of those fair weather friends. Right.
That's fine.
That's okay. Who was not playing for us last Saturday will be playing for us this Saturday, because they sent these other guys ahead.
Gareth,
So who's that?
Essentially 10 changes. I do not have the team sheet right on me.
But I mean, who was like conspicuously absent on the field last week?
Well, even Esabeth will captain this weekend, right?
Right.
So, he was there. Franco Mostert, guys like that, Jasper Wiese. It's pretty much like an entirely different forward pack altogether. And then you've got someone like Damien Willemse, who will start at fly half. Okay, he was on the bench last weekend. Damien de Allende, who will start in the center. These are the guys that you'll have your first choice teams. Marcus Mapimpi, Cheslin Colby. So if you think of the guys who won the World Cup and who would generally play against the big ones, they went straight to New Zealand last week. Okay.
There we go.
And that's where they are. So going back to what I was saying now about if you're looking on the betting side, like New Zealand are favorites tomorrow on the Supabets site right now. They are 0.55 winners here. The Boks are 1.7.
Okay.
And I just think that they're a really, really good chance to win tomorrow.
So in other words, this is where we should place a bet.
I think the Boks are decent, and you can take it even further.
Okay, so teach me how to do this. So if I go onto rugby, and I mean, I don't know whether you're the most proficient person, and we may have to call in like Bavu from last week or whatever. But if we look at rugby international matches, Japan versus New Zealand is not what I'm looking for.
No, Jerry, I'm on it. Let's save us all some time here.
Okay,
I'm on it.
Help me.
So if you go onto just rugby on the side there, you get Rugby Championship, you find the markets. Right. Okay, so now South
Rugby
Africa
Championship, got you.
So
here it is.
Tomorrow, you can give the Boks an 8.5 advantage. Okay, so if they lose by 8, you still get the win.
So how does this? Okay, so if I click on South Africa again, I'm a real amateur at this, and so is Simphiwe. I've loaded some money on here. I'll tell you what happened when I bet on some tennis. That's a whole different story. But on the site, if I want to bet now, what is home and away? I don't understand this.
So home would be your favorite. Okay, so New Zealand are playing at home physically, land along white cloud. That was a big reference. Okay, so that's the home team. You're backing them. So you see that. So they're 0.7. Right. I was reading. So okay, I'm already a step further here.
Okay, but I want to bet on South Africa.
Okay, very good. So they'll be their away team.
Okay, so I bet on that, and then I just put in some money,
and then you click on that. So however much money you want to back with your theory.
Okay,
so
great.
Just to go into the markets, okay. So now people can say yes, win or lose, but if you really want to play it a bit safer, now there's a market here where South Africa are given a handicap of 8.5. So if they lose by 8, you still win the bet, and it's at 0.6. So you put 100 down, you keep your 100. If it wins, you win 60. Nice. So look at it like that. If you really want to play it safe, if you want to double your money, you can get a handicap of +4.5 on the Boks, which I think is fair. The only Achilles heel potentially with this lineup right now, because you don't have a traditional kicking fly-off, is if it's a tight game or if the weather turns shitty and we have to rely on 3-pointers. I mean, we could miss 2 or 3 momentum sways and the Kiwis have a good game. That is the only Achilles heel I see with the Boks tomorrow. Otherwise, that set piece, that structure, that defensive line speed, no one sees.
All right.
I know that's really, really harsh of me to say, but I'm sticking with it.
I just got a message here from Mo Dollars on the comments. He says, Urban lost his father. He won't be playing against New Zealand.
Oh, crap.
That's something interesting.
Thanks for the update.
All right.
Okay, well, that does change things significantly.
Carl's being rude. He says, Gareth, you taught me the word Luddite, and now we get to use it to describe you. Well, I'm not a Luddite. I'm just not a pro sports bettor. I mean, some of you guys have been doing this for a long time. This is new to me.
Carl, I think it's time you checked your prostrate. You're a very angry man.
Grumpy.
You're grumpy, you're uptight, you're always looking to cause fights here on the show.
Stop it, man.
Just stop it, dude. Just stop it. The other game to look into for the Rugby Championship is Australia versus Argentina. Now, Argentina took a dicking last week, just like the Aussies did. Pretty much the same kind of scoreline. They came back towards the end, but it is not a good thing for those two teams because they don't entirely sure where they're going to go from here. Are the Aussies going to front up? Eddie Jones said that they would, and he told a SA reporter, Ken Borland, not to be a smartass for making a comment. Eddie Jones, right? This oak gives it, but he cannot take it. He rocked up in Pretoria last week and said it's not great that we're playing the second string box, basically.
Yeah.
So Ken's like, so Eddie, kind of really need you to play the second stringers, aren't you? And he's like, don't be a smart ass, mate. And then he left. That was the press conference.
Be a smart
So
ass.
11:45 tomorrow. The Aussies are favourites to win that one. It's just so hard to see what you're going to get out of Argentina. I don't know. I mean, I tried to do business with these oaks, and they're quite sketchy, up and down. You know whether you're coming or going with them, and the same with them. You know, yes, they've got a strong foundational team. They've got some tough blokes, but I don't know what to even tell you on that.
All right.
Which leads us on to Wimbledon, right? So this is the other big sporting attraction for the weekend. Let's start with the women's and Ons Jabeur.
Ons. I
Ons
love that
Jabeur.
name, by the way. She's from Morocco, Tunisia.
Tunisia.
There we go, Tunisia.
She's Tunisian.
Ons Jabeur. You see how much I know about sport this week.
It's great
This
how
is
we're just
never-
riffing
This
now.
is
It's
why
like
there's a
sport
cold
riffing.
front. It's
Yeah.
snowing.
All right,
What's
so
next,
Between
Gareth?
you and the
So you-
listeners, give me updates.
So you brought up tennis.
So Ons
And
Jabeur.
hold on a second. Before you talk about Ons Jabeur. So I placed my first bet without any help from you guys.
Look at you.
I bet on Medvedev against Eubanks
Yeah.
on Wednesday or Thursday? Wednesday. And I won.
Okay, very good.
I put in $100
Yeah.
and I ended up winning $800.
Yo,
Do you know
look
how
at you.
fantastic I felt after
Oh.
that? I don't know. I had really good odds, or I did. Maybe
you
it was
pressed
fluke.
the right
It was just
buttons.
fluke. I was like a monkey at a typewriter.
Beginner's luck.
It was just, how good is that? Right?
I don't know what you did to get it, but I'm going to congratulate you. Very good, Gareth. That's very good.
Ben is like, what is this moron?
How
What is
that
he
ties in with Ons Jabeur, I do not know.
Okay, it doesn't. But should we bet on Ons Jabeur?
Do
I'm
not steal
turning
her
into a gambling junkie.
Look, she's a 6th seed. She was there last year in the final. She didn't quite make it. She's taking on a woman whose name I'm absolutely going to butcher, Vondrousova. I know she's got a first name, but I can't
Okay.
be asked to click further.
All right.
So her claim to fame, she was Olympic silver medalist. Ons Jabeur, I think the tide is with her, Gareth.
Ons Jabeur.
I'm going to back her.
Got
Look, she had a tough semi against Sabalenka, who was essentially the 2nd seed and overwhelming favorite.
Okay.
But she pushed her aside. You know, she lost the first set 7-6, came back 6-4, 6-3. I'm back in Ons Jabeur. And then to the men's side of things, well, it is getting spicy as much as Ons Jabeur's culinary skills, because Alcaraz, the top seed, that young upstart of Spanish origin, his dad has been filming Djokovic practice sessions.
Isn't that illegal?
It's creepy, it's illegal, it's dodgy, it's in bad taste. So Djokovic obviously had a bit of a shit fit around that, because when you're practicing in any kind of sport, you want to feel relaxed, you want to interact with your team, you want to try a few things out. And here's this guy pulling the old camera out of the pants kind of vibe.
Right.
So Djokovic is pissed off with that. Alcaraz has been saying from the start of the tournament, I want to play Djokovic. Of course, he lost to him in the French Open final this year, so there's already big beef going into that one. But of course, there's two guys in the middle who are still got to be kind of processed here. Alcaraz is playing your mate Medvedev, okay? 1st versus 3rd seed. Those seedings have got perfectly there. And then Djokovic is playing Sinner. So Sinner's the 8th seed. Now, he beat him last year in the quarterfinals. Djokovic should probably go through on this one. But so we all want the Alcaraz-Djokovic final. And is it the time when the young upstart usurps the sort of incumbent to the helm? Like, this is the whole balance, you know. Djokovic has won 43 games in a row, I think it is, at Wimbledon.
Yeah.
So he's aiming for his 24th Grand Slam, okay? So if he wins this one, he goes tied with Federer for 8 Wimbledons,
Sure.
which is just ridiculous. Like,
No.
since I think I should double check these stats. It sounds more professional. But I think since 2014, Djokovic has won. I think he's lost twice. Since 2014, he's lost twice. So that's 43 wins, 2 losses.
That's phenomenal.
This is his 12th semi.
He's a machine.
This is his 12th semi at Wimbledon. People like it's if you can make one semi in Wimbledon, it's your career-defining moment, and you forever will be famous. And Brittany probably will want to have sex with you. But
Well, that's not hard.
this
moment.
is Djokovic's 12th, and I want him
amazing.
to win because I like the way he lives his life. So, no disrespect for Medvedev or Sinner, but if they step aside, we're in for an incredible Sunday. And that is pretty much it for your sports. Yes, there's Tour de France.
That's enough. Yeah, listen,
Finishing up on Sunday.
We got lots to.
That's it.
This is plenty to get into,
That's it.
and it is, of course, brought to you by Supabets. It's powered by Supabets. The Beyond the Scoreboard. You can find more information if you click on the right-hand side of our Cliff Central Supabets page. You can also get 50 Rand for free. So I worked out some of my winnings were a bonus that I got because I participated.
Well, you get bonus for first and second deposit.
There we go.
Yeah.
So Superbet supports responsible gambling. Strictly no under 18s. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling hotline 0800 006 008. Nice. Can't believe I'm so into this. I suppose when you win, it makes you want to keep
I
doing
feel
it,
the
right?
day you go.
As soon as I lose, I'm gonna be like,
out.
Then I'm done. Then I'm done. That's how it's going to go. All right. So let's get into a couple of other things that we need to talk about this morning. And we'll start off with a little game that Ben has worked out for a Friday.
Ooh.
How old are
Ooh.
they? This is always confusing to me. I mean, how often do we spend time on the show just looking up on Google how old someone is? Because we go, oh, this person must be in there.
Yeah.
20s, 30s, 40s, 50s.
just to find out they're
So
actually like
way older or
50.
way younger. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like in our office, we play music videos most of the day.
Right.
And it's always like, that person, I have not thought about that person for 10 years. How old are they? And no one gets it right, ever.
All right. So who are we going to go with here? This is like a quiz, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we're going to start off with Sean Kingston. You remember him?
Oh, damn all these beautiful
Yeah.
Beautiful
girls.
girls.
Yeah.
He's still a thing.
Right.
Well, I mean, he's still alive. So
Sean Kingston.
how old do you think he is? Because that song that you just sang now, that's old, huh?
Yeah, like I was in primary when
Exactly.
it came out, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
And he was like already like in his early 20s back then. So I would go with what, like 36.
He's 32.
Hmm.
He's still only 32 years
Good.
old.
That's good.
And
He's-
all of those beautiful girls, hopefully none of them are pregnant.
He's got
because
some runway ahead of him still.
still 32.
Not
Should
bad.
have been all
Oh.
32, but he looks the
Not bad.
same as
Okay,
well.
not bad. All right. Who else?
Nelly. Now, Nelly
Ooh.
was struggling
Ne-
with money recently. There was that whole thing where people were asked to download his songs so he could get
Oh,
royalties.
shame. I would say Nelly's 49.
Yeah, he's been around. He even had a reality show at one point. So I'd go with 51.
He's 48.
Ah,
Yeah.
not bad.
Pretty good, Gareth.
I should be betting all day long.
That's pretty
I'm
good.
getting close. All right, let's go. Next one.
So Chris
like
Brown,
this.
we haven't heard a whole bunch about him since
I should get this one
Battery.
right.
I mean, I don't know if he still releases the hits
No, he does. He recently like dropped a
like a woman.
like a
Dropped
20
a
Like-
can of whoop ass.
No, he dropped an album, and I think it had like 50 songs on there. It was like, 10,000 hours long. I know Chris Brown is not that much older than
Hey,
me.
Lucky's just reminded me I did. I interviewed Sean Kingston back in 5FM. See, I didn't even know that. I did. Yeah, I remember that.
So I would go because Rihanna's like 30 something. So I'd go with 34.
No, I'd say he's 38.
Well done, Spirit. Chris Brown is 34.
Ah,
money.
He is winning.
So
All
the
right.
thing about this game is you got to get it on the money.
Okay.
Akon.
Yo, I should know this one as well because he's been doing a lot for Africa in general.
Yeah.
I'm-
He's doing not for Africa, is he?
yeah,
All
he's
right.
building schools. He's doing like amazing things. I would go with 44. He is old.
Hmm.
Akon's even older than Gareth. He's 50.
Jeez.
What?
Yeah, 50.
Yo,
50.
black don't crack. Yo.
Absolute 50.
Well, he's looking good then. I mean,
Sure.
that's impressive. All right.
So this another guy
Good.
doesn't seem to age, mostly because you always see him in like fluorescent lights. But how old is Pitbull?
Ooh. Pitbull. I'm trying to figure out here. Pitbull.
If you don't know, Pitbull is the singer that looks
I
like
know,
Herschel
I'm,
Gibbs.
I'm thinking
Shiny,
Pitbull.
shiny clothing.
Yeah, I know who he is. I'm going to say Pitbull must be about 46.
I will go with 43.
Close, 42.
Ah.
Oh,
All right.
Okay.
Then it goes to someone whose hairstyles changed more than David Beckham in the 90s. How old is Craig David?
Craig David.
Yo, that man is old. I saw the gray hairs. He did an interview very recently. That guy's old, bro. But he's aging like fine wine.
You must make up your mind. Do you like the gray hair or do you not? Because you
No, I love
sounded
it.
pretty. Okay.
I mean, you were throwing him around here like a
Yeah.
rag doll of consequence.
I would say Craig David. I haven't even thought of that guy and his music
But
for
he was big. When he was
was
big,
a-
he was a big deal.
he
Huh?
was
He
well
had
in,
that 7 Days song, and
more in the UK than in
Well,
the US.
sure, but
the US
then-
didn't really care about him.
because of that show, Bo Selector, he then became even more famous.
So did Mel B. All right, let's
I
go
love-
with
53.
Craig David's. No, I think he's 45.
What are you going to say, Sabir? You
I
were
said 53.
oh 53. No, he's 42.
Guys.
Yeah.
Sure.
What?
Okay, we'll do one more.
Okay, cool.
How old is Usher?
Usher.
Ah,
Yo,
okay,
Usher
now
got
we're
into
in
trouble recently.
definitely
eh?
in his 50s.
Usher's always been in trouble.
Yo.
That guy's been making love in the club, and it was always consensual. Hygiene issues.
Definitely. Massive hygiene issues. I'd say 50 something.
48.
Usher's 44.
That's not good.
Still got some mileage in that clock. Yeah, 44.
yeah.
You
Okay.
must stop doing concerts then.
This is a fun game. You know, we must play next week. I'll work on this one, dead or alive. I'll bring a whole bunch of
Yeah,
celebrities,
that's-
and you don't know whether they're
See,
dead or alive.
That's smart because
Yeah.
sometimes when you Google their age, you think they are still alive, right?
Exactly. Do you know who I thought like that about was who was it the other day? There was someone, I interviewed somebody and I had to check whether someone they'd worked with was dead. And I'd completely forgotten. And I had to go on Google and look for this person to see if they were dead. And they were.
It's good to know because dead's a very definite thing.
It's a very
It's-
definite
They're
thing.
not going to be at the meeting.
Yes.
Don't bring up a conversation.
So Tracy says Pitbull's real name is actually Feet Pitbull because he's never released a song on his own featuring. You know?
Yeah, yes. No, that's true. He's
But then he's
But-
Mr. Worldwide. Who's that?
That's him.
That's him.
Still him.
Mr.
yeah.
Worldwide.
What did they say? You can make a Pitbull song, or you must count 1, 2, 3, say something in like Spanish or something, and then you say
Un,
worldwide.
dos, tres, cuatro. He's Mr. Worldwide.
There you have
Pe,
it.
pe, pe,
You have
pe.
you have to do the numbers in English and then say something in Spanish.
Yeah.
You can say like, Carlo Alvarez as well.
There we go.
Sorry,
Alvaro,
what you want?
you miss- You don't really pronounce anything in Spanish. You just kind of roll over it.
Yeah, you see. There's a Pitbull song right
well.
there.
Okay, so I just have to quickly tell you that George Mienie will be on later for the motoring update. But here is some good news. Now, you know that I have been driving cars from DeWitt Motors in Ermelo, which is obviously Phil's dealership. It's right there in the main city street. You can't miss it. But you don't have to go to Ermelo because here's the amazing thing. He's been on the show a few times, Phil. So you know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Rena, who works with me, she started Cliff Central with me. She actually bought her car from Phil. And he sent a car to her to
Wow.
test drive all the way from Ermelo. When she decided to buy it, all the paperwork she did here. She didn't
Really?
have to leave. She did not have to leave the office. They bought her old car at a good price, collected it from here. She sold and bought a car without leaving the office.
That's lavish.
That's
So-
easier than buying shoes.
Let me tell you something. People always go, oh, it's going to be a schlep. I have to
Yeah.
go and deal with some salesman in a showroom. I'm going to have to sit there and do hours of paperwork. They're going to need my ID and all of this. They did it all they bring the dealership to you effectively. That's what they do. And you can receive the same treatment. Because I asked Phil the other day, I said to him, do you do this for everybody? And he said, yes. You can receive this royal treatment because you listen to us. So if you're looking for a car, and if you're in the market for a new car, you want to sell your old car, whatever it is, DeWitt Motors in Ermelo are the people to bring the dealership to you. Go to their website. It's dewits.co.za. That's devits.co.za. Browse the selection of cars there. Have a look. New and used. They've got an amazing selection. They can get you what you want. You don't have to, mess around, spend hours and hours poring over the internet. Go and take a look, and you will see whatever you're looking for there. If you fancy something, email us at contact@cliffcentral.com. We will connect you up with them. It's that easy. We'll try and make this personal. So you're going to be a customer that comes from us which will make it much more special. We want to make sure you get the best possible deal, and Divot Motors do too. So go and take a look at their website. That is dewits.co.za. And you can email us, contact@cliffcentral.com for more information. So get on it. Get on it.
Wow, there's
Get
a
on.
1989 Toyota Cressida on,
Did you find it
on
now?
his floor.
Really? How much?
I mean, obviously, he's got all the high-end Mercs. He's got all the
sure.
cars you
But
really,
how much?
really,
how much
really
for
want.
a Cressida?
89,000 rond, Gareth.
You know,
But it looks like a beaut. This car, I mean, 175,000 on the clock. It's a petrol.
Sure.
Simphiwe, are you interested?
No, no,
Not in
I'm
the
still happy with
Cressida.
mine. No,
Full service history. It's green. It's like that metallic.
Green.
It's that metallic green. Back when Afrikaans people started to get fancy. This car. It's like a monument of yesteryear.
Go and take a look. I mean, you will find curiosities like
yeah,
that.
but see, that's the thing. When you get a service like
You'll
that,
find-
you're
you'll
gonna get a
find,
variety of cars.
The G-Wagons. You'll find all
Oh,
the stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking at a quite shiny, sort of semi-used G-Wagon now.
Oh, there we go.
This is
All right, so go and take a look. Here's something interesting. Apparently, Patrick Swayze. You see, I didn't know this either. He died in 2009. Darren says.
Okay, can we?
I'd forgotten about
that.
that.
I did know, yeah, because he
I'd
wasn't doing
forgotten
so
though.
well.
I had forgotten.
Sure, but we're gonna play this game next week.
Okay, yeah.
So
So save yourself. We're
Yes,
going to take a
please.
break at 7:00, but we'll play Alive or Dead next week. That'll be fun.
You got to
Get
go.
ready.
You got to go look at this Cressida.
I'm going to. I'm going to check it out. No, just keep it open there. I'll come and see now. We'll share the picture. That sounds amazing. All right, Friday.
Up
Good morning.
next in the AutoTrader podcast. Extras definitely add to vehicle value.
Yes.
Depends on what those extras are.
Yes.
But factory fitted extras.
Yeah.
I promise you, for those out there who are thinking, I'm going to go put side skirts on my car. Catch us every Monday at 9 a.m. on YouTube and on autotrader.co.za.
Every time you listen to that 80s show, Tom Cruise lives another 10 years. Every Friday on CliffCentral.com, Paolo and Dory review movies, reminisce about old songs, remember childhood places that are now car parks, and say some outrageously rude things about Patrick Swayze's brother. That 80s show, new episode every Friday, live or as a podcast on CliffCentral.com.
Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, and we are ready to have a whole lot of fun. Just before we have any fun, I have to quickly throw in a caution here. If you live in Vereniging, you're in big, big trouble. So apparently, well, no, generally, I think you're always in trouble in Vereniging, but I don't want to be mean because there are a lot of people who listen to us in Vereniging. They can't do anything about this. It's not their fault. But Vereniging had the worst air quality in the world.
What?
On Wednesday this week.
Wow, what happened?
The worst in the world. So data from OpenAQ reported on Bloomberg's Data Dash says Vereniging recorded 46.13 micrograms per cubic meters of fine particulate matter. The size of these fine particulates is associated with huge health problems, including heart disease, lung disease, infertility, birth defects, and other pregnancy complications. Fine particulate measuring 2.5 nanometers in diameter or less has also been associated with cognitive decline, including the prevalence of neurodegenerative disease like Alzheimer's.
Wow.
So get the hell out of Vereniging if you still can.
Run.
But has something changed recently, or is it?
Look, they've got
Does
those
it blow in from somewhere else?
They've got a lot of those factories and those plants, and there's plenty of shit being poured into the air there. You know, we've got a couple of places the air is not so awesome, like Secunda, like Vereniging, like
but to be the worst in the world,
Witbank and Middelburg, not great.
There's some pretty rough
The
places
worst
in this world.
in the world. Okay, so Vereniging had the worst air quality in the world on Wednesday. So what are you going to do about that? I mean, maybe this is an argument for masks again. I don't know, but masks wouldn't seem to save you from this stuff.
Yeah, but then it collects in the mask and you suck with
God.
it in your face. And
So I'm just sorry. I have
Just
to
get
tell you
out.
this.
Just as fast as you can.
Yeah, I mean, Carl says it happens every year during rugby championship, but I don't think that has anything to do with it. He says too much briflex and farts.
yeah, but those cancel each other out. They're actually fine.
I think that's terrifying, actually. And Vereniging's not far from here.
No, it is terrifying because doesn't that all those particulates then go onto the Val Dam, which goes into the water?
Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking.
This is why you shouldn't be drinking tap water.
Oh, come on.
I'm just saying.
Don't say that because then I'm in big trouble. I drink tap water in Joburg and Pretoria. I don't think there's a problem. I haven't got cholera yet.
Yeah, I just hate being sick, so I've stopped doing that.
You don't drink tap water?
Well, where I live, the water's either off or it's coming back.
Oh,
I literally live in a favela at the moment. There's no. I have a substation. I have a substation that trips more than some auntie's dodgy toaster. Like we get load shedding, and if it comes back, it's a miracle. You know, you used to hate load shedding because fuck, the power's just gone off. When the power comes back on, it's like your dog just landed a plane, and you're like, yay, that was nice. That's a surprise.
Mash says.
Oh,
Mash says my brother got TB from living in Vereniging.
Oh, you see, leave.
Jesus,
leave now.
That's really bad, hey.
Run.
I'm worried about
walk,
that. Apparently, another
drive.
place that you should stay away from is somewhere in the Cape. Somebody said somewhere in the Cape there's
Noordposteland.
Atlantis is not great.
Atlantis is the
it's
what I
not
meant,
great,
yeah.
for
Noordpost is
various
quite
reasons. Yeah. All right, so now you know there's a bit of a health warning. I'm sorry, I had to put a dampener on everybody's otherwise
But
lovely
guys,
Friday.
I mean, this is what we signed up for, right? We live in this country.
Yeah, just deal with it.
You're running with everything.
You're not going to live forever anyway.
You're not going to live forever.
So pick your place to die.
Vereniging, you know, at least you know what you're going to get, right? Okay, so now you know. I just found that horrifying. I'm sorry.
It is horrifying.
Jesus.
Do we not have enough on our plate?
You would think.
Sure.
All right, so Simphiwe's got another riddle. We're playing a lot of games this morning. What do you got? Let's go.
According to the FBI, if you can solve this riddle, you might be a psychopath. Are you able to solve it? Right?
Oh, shit. I know I'm going to solve this, and then people are going to have another reason to call me a psychopath. This is good. Okay.
I'm more interested to hear Ben's logic.
Oh.
So this one's kind of for Ben, right?
Okay. Fair.
A girl's at her mother's funeral. She met a guy at the funeral that she didn't know, and they hit it off. She was busy receiving condolences from the guests, so she wasn't able to get his phone number before he left. Following the funeral, she tried to track him down, but no one knew who he was or how to contact him. To add to her troubles, a few days later, his sister was found dead. The police suspect it was a murder, but the question is, who did it and why did they do it? Dun, 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 dun.
Well, I'm watching The Sopranos at the moment, so my mind's boggling at all kinds of things of who could be the murderer and why. And it's very simplistic.
Okay.
But
I know this one. I'm not going to spoil it, Ben. Do you have any idea?
No,
Okay, because this is a proper like you have to be seriously messed up to figure this one out.
So you want to know why he did it?
No,
No,
not
who
him.
did it
So who
and
did
why?
it? Oh well, it's obviously this guy.
No,
Wrong.
you're not a psychopath.
But
Congratulations.
Oh, you passed the test though.
Oh, but I've been watching Sopranos. These guys.
No.
Why was this
You're-
guy at the funeral? Because he was sniffing around
So-
and then he was like,
I love your logic.
Tell the story. That's good. But
I love your logic.
It means we're safe around Ben. But explain the
Yes.
story again,
Okay,
and then
cool.
I'll answer it like a psychopath.
"Of course you're safe around me. I'm just trying to find fresh
Well,
water.
you live in a
I've got time-
favela.
I've got
You
time
live
to
in a
murder
favela. You know
people.
what happens
Yeah.
in favelas? People learn to kill each
I
other.
haven't got time to murder people. I'm trying to keep the lights on here.
So a girl's at her mother's funeral.
Yeah.
She met a guy at the funeral. She didn't know. They hit it off. And she was busy receiving condolences from the guests. So she wasn't able to receive his phone number before he left. Following the funeral, she tried to track him down, but no one knew who he was or how to contact him.
Mhm.
To add to her troubles, a few days later, her sister was found dead. The police suspect it to be a murder, but the question is, who did it and why? You were completely wrong, Ben, so I trust you. I feel safe around you.
I just still don't trust this guy who goes to funerals and no one knows him. I think more should be.
I
I don't
love
think we
your
should cold
logic.
case him just
I will
yet.
tell you who. So the girl
Yes.
who wanted the guy's number murdered her own sister because she wanted to have another funeral so she could see the guy again.
Yes.
That's a psychopath.
Yeah, see, that's
Yeah, there are people who are that crazy. There are in this world. There are people that crazy. They will go to the same place that they met someone that they didn't get a number for 10 times in a row, every week at the same time, to hope that that person is there again.
wow.
There are people like that,
Yeah.
and they are called psychopaths.
Yes.
So
So
now you know.
Carl, Rebellious Ruth,
No.
Mac.
Right.
I know your real lives now. I know how you guys think.
And imagine what kind of a deranged lunatic you have to be to murder your own sister to meet a stranger again.
Yeah, I want to get
Proper
more.
levels of
I
insanity.
get more of the backstory of the sister. I mean, was she disposable? I mean, was she on the way out? Did she steal?
She was probably a disaster to start with.
Because then she's like, kind of killing two birds with one stone here. I still think of that guy.
Well, speaking of psychopaths, remember that pedophile who was fondling all those women in the gymnastics
that
team?
Larry Nassar guy.
Larry Nassar. He got stabbed in jail.
Yo.
You do not want to be a pedophile, full stop. Right?
Yeah.
But you also do not want to be a pedophile in jail.
Look, as much as it's glorified by the left, yes, don't be a pedophile.
Being a
Oh
pedophile
no!
is
Don't
never
you know
a
what
good
it's
not a
called
good
now?
idea.
Minor attracted person.
See, exactly. Changing the language.
disgusting.
This is the weapon of them. But you know, unfortunately, there's never balance in life, right? Because Larry Nassar interfered with about 300 girls. He was only stabbed like 4 times. So I think they could have let it run a bit.
Yeah, but he's
Sorry,
alive.
I mean, I
still.
know. it
Is
makes me
he
sound
still
like-
alive?
Unfortunately, so.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But what started the whole altercation is that they were watching TV in their common room that you do in a prison.
And the other prisoners just,
No, he was like, I want to watch the women's Wimbledon.
oh no, you're joking.
Yeah, that's how it started.
Oh my god!
And
they
this-
were like, you
and his
sick,
cellmates like,
sick bastard.
this is it. I'm gonna
Have you
shiv
seen what he
you.
looks like though? He's a horrible.
He looks like
creepy-looking
if
dude.
Mr. Bean molested women. That's what he looks
Show you.
like.
Yo.
I'll find you a picture of him quickly because he's really disturbing.
You know, you
looking
get like
bastard.
different kinds of Barbies. It's like if you got molestation, Mr. Bean, this is what this guy would look like.
Yeah, molestation, Mr. Bean. That's pretty much the best
Yeah.
description you
I mean,
come up with.
Mattel, I'm not giving you ideas here. Just saying.
So yeah, this guy is he was convicted. He's in for life or something.
300 years or whatever
Yeah,
it is.
something
Like,
like that.
he's not going anywhere.
Terrible person. And this is what he looks like, Simphiwe, just so you know, in case you're attracted to him.
Mm-mm.
He's got no chin. Where's the guy?
He looks so offish though, hey? He
Well,
looks-
wouldn't you if you were sentenced to life and your only solace was to molest young girls?
Yeah, you've taken away young flesh from him. So obviously he's going to
Yeah.
look like that.
What a creep.
Oh.
I really don't like pedophiles. Have I mentioned that before?
There should be separate prisons for them. You
I
just
think
toss
so.
them in.
No,
and
I think they should go with where everybody's at. There's levels to this crime thing,
Mm-hmm.
and you need to know that
No, but
you're
they
not the
should
big
all-
dog.
They should all be stuck like that whole crab in the bucket thing, and then see what happens when you eat all the pedophiles together. What they do with each other,
See which one's the alpha pedophile,
and
and then shoot that one.
then no. How do you become alpha pedophile? That's the question.
Well, in a prison though, you're not going to be pedophiling.
Yeah, so they probably would hit it off.
Gareth, if a tennis player plays
Maybe they all
tennis,
sit there just sharing stories of their disgusting
You know, getting
conquests.
better at it, and just
Yeah,
like
like mastermind, like pedophile masterclass.
But let them rot in their own pedophileness.
Okay, well,
But there's not.
sorry,
Where's the rotting though?
I just think
there's
that,
no rotting. I think they'll just hang out.
I just think it's the lowest form of human being. I
No,
know,
sure,
I know
sure.
I make light
But
of
that's
this,
why Simphiwe is saying throw them in with the others.
Yes.
No, but then they're tainting that. Another thing about prison is you want to kind of rehab. If you throw these kind of people in with people who have a chance of rehabbing, I don't think it's a good idea. Let the pedos have their own pot. Like in 300, they'll get kicked into that little thing.
But can I tell you why? If you just get the one group together, right? They all gonna lie to themselves and be like, we did nothing wrong. I don't know why we're here. Like they're all gonna just kind of
commiserate with each
Yes.
other.
Whereas you have a rapist here, you have a murderer here, you have a serial killer here. They're all like, the hell? What are you like? People then
Simphiwe would do well in prison. She gets it.
She would.
She knows how prison works.
Yes,
No
there's-
psychopaths.
Again, Ben, you don't
Yeah.
know prison, which is a good to your credit.
I just keep showing how soft I am on this show.
All right. Well, we've got a lot of sport to look forward to this weekend. You'll be placing some bets as well.
yes.
Yeah.
Simphiwe will too. We'll have some fun with this.
Yes.
And,
I'm excited now. Like I'm
what?
excited.
You're excited until you don't win, but you'll be extra excited if you do.
It's just
I'm
playing a
here
game.
to win. I'm
I
here
know.
to win. I was born for greatness, guys. It's in my blood.
All right.
Go on Shabur.
Yeah, go on
Finish on
Jabber.
that.
All right,
On
Ben, we'll
Jabber.
see you next week. Have an
All right,
awesome
everybody.
day. All right, there's Ben Karpinski, everybody. And we will continue because we've got a special guest joining us. It's the first time we've seen him in 6 years.
Yes, that's
First
a long
time I've had him on the show. He hasn't been quiet. He's been busy. He's been doing lots of things. We got to catch up. He's got married in the meantime and a
Sure.
bunch of other stuff. So that is, of course, Teemo ODV, who we haven't spoken to in ages. We got George Mienie joining us a little bit later as well. Lots of excitement. It is a beautiful Friday morning. The weekend is here. It's the 14th of July. Before you know it, we're going to be in that, that beautiful heading towards summer vibe. That's what we want. Just tired of this cold, especially after this shit week. Let's get into it. Teemo ODV, how the hell are you, man?
Good on yourself, brother. Long time.
Good. Nice to see you. First of all,
Hey.
what's happening with married life? I mean, this is an exciting development. When did it all happen? I haven't been like watching through the tabloids or paying attention to gossip on social media, so I don't know anything about this. When did you get married, and does she know she's married to you?
Yeah, no, she knows. Fortunately,
Oh, that's good.
it was 2019. Yeah, I'm not like the kind of person
Okay.
that likes all that tabloid crap anyway. So
So you didn't have some big celebrity wedding or anything?
nah. I just had just my people. I don't want anything like that. It's not my vibe. So
Oh,
it was
what's
2019 pre-COVID, and then we were stuck in the house together for 2 years, and we're still together. So it's chilled.
Well, I mean, that probably is the best way to start a marriage when you kind of in lockdown. I mean, for some people it worked out really well, and for some people it was absolute hell. And you could see which, which relationships thrived and which ones struggled and suffered under that. But I mean, it's also quite cool that you got into your marriage during a time where everybody in the world was kind of stuck in
Yeah,
know,
for sure.
a very strange
mean,
vibe.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was cool. I enjoyed the time. It was a nice
So-
time to kick back, other than being money stress,
Oh well, I mean, no, but obviously that a lot of people in entertainment, that was the biggest worry, is because everybody was, especially you were doing gigs every single week, more than 2 or 3 of them a week, and then suddenly everything's shut down, and that's your income. I mean, did your new wife go, oh shit, I've chosen a terrible husband. This is a disaster. This guy's gonna bring
She's like,
him
this is not what I signed
zero
up for.
bacon. Yeah.
Nah, it was chill there because I think I was pretty clever with my cash before, so I at least had 2 years of savings or whatever to get through everything. But yeah, I can remember the beginning of COVID when they said 3 weeks. I told my managers I don't know, I'm gonna make it through 3 weeks, and then it was 2 years.
Well, I mean,
But yeah,
everything
long ago.
slowly. It started to come back though, and I saw you were headlining at a couple of really cool festivals. You've been doing a lot of club gigs again. Is it waking up now? Is it back to where it was?
I don't think it's back to where it was. It definitely did wake up for quite a while now. That with the winter, it's going down a bit again. And also, I think I don't know if anything's back to normal. To be honest, I feel like there's some mild recession going on as well.
Oh no,
I mean,
there's
you can
definitely.
you can feel it. You know what I mean? Like in the clubs, and you can see kids don't buy
Well,
drinks anymore and that kind of stuff.
But don't you think that first of all, there is definitely less money around, and second of all, there are less clubs around.
Yeah, less clubs, less venues overall.
Oh.
Everything is quite I think the only place that really pops off like the same as it's used to is probably Cape Town, and I think that's because they obviously have that influx of foreigners from like
foreigners bringing
that
that
are
foreign
popping over for the
lucre.
winter. Yeah,
Yeah.
they
All right,
bring their euros.
So there are obviously like promoters who are still trying to put together festivals and events and things. What kind of stuff are you looking at doing for the rest of this year? I mean, are there things that you're quite excited about coming up?
I think there's a couple cool festivals coming up, and I see like December's already filling up a bit again. So I think like everyone's just went into a bit of like a hibernation for the winter, and everyone was too scared to throw big parties because like you can lose a lot of money quite easily, right?
Yeah.
But other than that, right now I'm probably just gonna head out for summer in Europe.
Oh yeah,
chill. It's usually my
that's quite cool.
vacation time, you know.
Nice. Well, I mean, listen, if you're doing European vacations, and that place is just pumping at the moment. I heard just the other day that there are a whole bunch of new places that have opened up in Ibiza and in Greece and in Italy, but of course with our rand, that's that's a hell of an ask for people.
Yeah, it gets a bit pricey if you're gonna go out on the a big bend or anything, you know. I was also just in Hong Kong and Vietnam playing some gigs, but I don't know. It's a different world right there, right now, you know.
Well, I mean, this is interesting to me because I've never thought of Hong Kong and Vietnam. What was that like, and what are the crowds like there?
Well, obviously the promoter that booked me knows the kind of style that I play, which is more like at the moment like underground techno and that kind of stuff. So they obviously cater the party for that and the audience and they promote the artists that they know the people will want to listen to and that kind of stuff. So I don't know, it was just cool seeing things sort of normal that side. Like I said, over here it's winter and everything's quiet and not a lot of people are going out at the moment. So when you go somewhere else and you see it's like a vibrant scene, it obviously gives you like a bit of hope and inspiration.
I got to tell you, your name comes up in very favorable ways when people are talking about like local music that they want to go and see live and they want to see DJs and they want to see producers and that kind of thing. So you're obviously still on the top of lots of people's lists. And are you producing a whole lot of new music at the moment?
Yeah, quite a few. I think I actually released a new song today. I actually forgot about it, but
oh, thanks.
That's great.
You forgot about it, but you just remembered in time to mention it to us. So that's good news.
No, I saw it this morning. I actually haven't made any content for it, so like I don't know how I'm gonna...
So how does it work, Teemo? Like when you release a new song now, and I mean you're being very humble about this. I wish I could write one goddamn song. You churn them out and then forget about them. When you release a song now, how does it work? What's the process that you follow?
Oh, well, at the moment, I had finished my contract with Universal last year, and then
so you're
I was
free.
Just working...
You're a free agent now. You can do your own thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's cool, right?
Yeah, it is pretty cool. I guess you can just like you have more say in all of your things. Not that they ever like how do I say? It wasn't like they were forcing me to. Yeah. It was just I don't know. It just put me sometimes in like a.
So for people who don't understand what this is like, you have to, if you sign up to a record label, they expect a certain amount of music from you. They expect a certain number of songs, or they tie you down to a certain time period or whatever. And then they work with you and you work with them, and it can be very good and it can be an amazing collaboration. There's stuff, obviously, that the record companies can still do that it's difficult for a new startup artist on their own to do.
For sure.
But you were signed up. I mean, you were you still are a phenomenon, and people were blown away. And obviously the record company got super excited, signed you up then. And it took you 6 years then to work out that contract with them. And now that you are
7, I guess it was 7. Yeah.
7. You see, so
I was signed for like a 3-album deal, and because I didn't want to just like, I guess at the time, was I guess like a bit of a perfectionist. At that time, I like worked quite slowly. So to do like 3 albums took me 7 years. You know what I mean? And that's quite a big chunk of time.
I don't think that's so bad. So I don't think that's
you don't think
3
so?
albums. No, and it's good quality stuff. And being a perfectionist, they always say that there are 2 kinds of genius. This is what Gladwell talks about in his book. He mentions that there's the fast kind of genius who churns out like Picasso did, 10 paintings a day, but he's hugely prolific, and he doesn't worry. Once he's painted something, he just puts it on the pile and moves on to the next one. And then you get more of a what was the one he used as an example there? He also used in music. He said Bob Dylan versus like Leonard Cohen. Bob Dylan would write thousands of songs, and some of them would be absolutely shit, and some of them would be amazing. But he would just churn out song after song after song, and then you get like Leonard Cohen, who would agonize over a song, every detail. He would remove this sound, he would put that sound in, he would change this ever so slightly, put in a little background effect that nobody else would know, and he would do this for years on one single song. He was such a perfectionist. You sound more like that. Oh, by the way, the artist was Cezanne, so it was either you're a Picasso or you're a Cezanne, and you sound like a Cezanne and a Leonard Cohen as opposed to a Picasso and a Bob Dylan.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I think like in this day and age, yeah, I definitely would be more on that side. But I think in this day and age, with the way that content is consumed now, it's better to like start the migration to the Picasso side. Right?
Just churn out stuff.
Yeah, and I feel like I had been thinking about that for a while, and I thought that as well. Like lately, I feel like the quality is in the quantity as well. If you can just put out or just churn out a lot of things, and then you can have more to pick from instead of like mentally torturing yourself every time you're trying to like finish something, right?
Do you
in this day and age,
like,
it just like floats away so quickly.
Do you feel a lot of pressure to be constantly putting things out? Because you can't rest on your laurels, right? I mean, the minute you rely on something that you did 6 years ago, people are going to go, oh, well, whatever happened to? I mean, it happens to all of us in entertainment, but it must be huge pressure for a musician.
I think there was sort of that feeling. Fortunately, I mean, from 2015 to 2019, I made probably like 9 or 10 songs over like 1 million streams. So I had like a big enough catalog that it wasn't just one song. You know, whenever I went somewhere, another song of mine would be someone else's favorite song. You know, and I actually didn't even want to be stuck in that like typical genre anymore. I mean. So I had started the transition in like 2019. So I think in a weird way, COVID was cool in the sense that it just gave like a stop to everything. And when I came back, it was like post-COVID Teemo, you know what I mean? And then from there, it was more like underground music and that kind of stuff.
There's definitely a change. Where do you kind of take your inspiration from these days? Because we all get inspired by music, especially new music and, you know, artists like you. But where do you get it from?
I think probably like when I go out a lot of times in Europe and maybe just following that scene over there. I mean, originally we always have been behind the European scene. So, you know, they're always pushing it and they have the resources to be constantly pushing things that side. And I think even like one of the bigger like genres in the world right now is like Afrotech. And I can remember Afrotech started like showing up in Berlin, strangely enough, in like 2018. That's when Shimzas and them started going over slowly. But the Europeans obviously liked that thing. So they made a techno sound influenced by Africa. And then I feel like Africa went and like took that sound back and made it better. And then like
and the Americans love it too. I mean, look at Miami. I mean, they just absolutely love that stuff there. So obviously when you go to Europe then on a holiday, it's actually not, it's homework.
Yeah, I guess, but I've always loved the music, right? So for me, like just getting away and being able to go out whenever I want to is a holiday.
Okay, but now as a married guy, I mean, hopefully Alex likes this as well. She also wants to go out with you, right?
Yeah, for sure. She's got a career now, so she can't come. She can't just disappear for like 2 months at a time. So she has to join like halfway and then leave like a week before I leave. So. But she'll join me in Berlin and Barcelona and all those kinds of things. So
what do you make of Berlin? It is such a strange place that I'm still confounded. I've been there twice, and it's one of the weirdest places. It really is. It's bizarre.
Why?
Like, how come? Because it's dirty and grungy, and there's graffiti everywhere, and it's grimy, and it looks menacing and dangerous. But it's actually a really fucking cool place, and there are the most amazingly avant-garde people you'll ever meet in your life there. Sure. People are so individual. The music scene is insane. I mean, Germans are, and remember, Berlin is like an international city, so it's not just Germans, but it seems to me like they are always on the cutting edge of doing weird and bizarre things. And if you've been to any clubs in Berlin, even bars, even like little restaurants, the place is full of variety. Is that your feeling?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'd probably say Berlin's my favorite city for since 2018. I was trying to go there maybe like 2 times, 3 times a year. I've been going there
Sure.
because I usually go for
Wow.
like winter and then I go in summer again. And yeah, it's definitely that kind of vibe. I think it just once I had found Berlin in like 2018, I just kept going back. I can remember people always asking, why you keep going to Europe? What places have you been to? And I'm like, Berlin.
It's enough. It's enough though.
You know
You'll
what I mean?
find
And I'm like,
everything. Okay, so the one question
100%.
everybody asks, and Simphiwe, do you know about the Berghain?
Oh no.
Okay, so let's tell. Do you want to tell her
Berghain.
what the Berghain is? Do you want to tell her what it is, Teemo?
Please.
So it's probably like the most elusive club to get into because the bouncers they're very like strict, and if they don't think you fit the vibe, then they usually bounce you. So once you get in, it's just like it's crazy. But it's a big party though, I won't lie.
It sounds very exclusive.
You've obviously been in. We'll find out about that in a second. But it is in anybody's question when you ask someone anywhere between the age of like 18 and 70, you say to them, "You've been to Berlin, huh? Did you get into the Berghain?" Because that's all people want to know. So these guys at the front door,
Sure.
and they just look at you. And it doesn't have to do with what you look like necessarily. You could be tall, short, fat, thin, hot, ugly, whatever the thing is. They might just like your look. You might have, I don't know, nappy pins in every part of your ear, or you could be wearing just leather, or you could be dressed in a t-shirt and shorts. And these guys at the door, they just have an arbitrary system. Like, it doesn't matter how much money you have or who you know. You either get in or you don't, and that is it. There's no appeal. You can't go like round the side and talk to someone and get in. Or if you're famous, they don't care. If you're infamous, they don't care. They will only let certain people in. So it's like a complete lucky draw. You don't know what it is they're looking for.
For sure.
And you got in.
I think as long as you, I think as long as you don't look like I think for lack of a better term, like a normie, then you're usually fine. So you want to go a little bit like alternative, that kind of that, and never go more than like
then, like,
3
is
people.
it worth the hype?
Well,
like once you're inside, like
if you like techno,
you know?
100%. If you like techno, it's like because it's an old abandoned power station, I think. So in the main floor, they have like function ones, like towers in the front, towers in the back. They're obviously playing like really hard techno, like 136 to 145. So like you feel like your insides are moving. It's pitch black inside. Just occasionally there's like a flash of red lights, and like it's so hot that there's fans from the roof. So everyone has their shirts off. If I'm honest, like you just can't stay in there if you don't take your shirt off to get some of that like air. And like there's just crazy stuff that happens in there, and it's like I don't know, there's like a tangible atmosphere in like at a party. Yeah, sort of like that. And then
it's always like that, and it's been around for what? 30, 40 years.
Yeah. And the biggest party's on the Sunday night, usually.
Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then you guys not have work on Monday. Like, how are we partying?
These people crawl out of there in like daylight on the Monday morning. No, it's proper.
Sure. But it actually starts on Thursday night, I think, or Friday. And then some people will just party the whole weekend. But obviously with the help of
drugs. Lots of drugs. Graham Rogers says, I got in once. My God, anything goes in there.
100%.
It sounds like the ultimate vibe, but I'm also just like, I'm not sure if I could survive this. Like,
Sanella says, you just have to be black, Gareth. Trust me, they'll let you in if you're black in Berlin. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, they probably will. No doubt.
Carl says, my vibe is so vanilla, I'd never get in. So how many times have you been in there?
Well, I went twice on the one weekend, and then there was another time that I got bounced. So
really? So you see, again, it's totally arbitrary. And this is a DJ. I mean, you'd think
although
a DJ.
I think the first time I went, I was dressed a bit like plain. I was just wearing like a black overcoat with some black pants. And then the second time, I made a bit of an effort, but then I also got like tactical. So then my manager Adrian, he has like blonde dyed hair tattooed everywhere. I was like, okay, wear a fishnet top, wear silver pants, and then I'm gonna
Timo,
go as the drug dealer vibe. So then I had like a black tactical vest, just a t-shirt. So it looked like maybe like a weird mismatch, like couple or something. You know what I mean? Just chilling there. Because at the end of the day, it's a gay club. So it's just
sure.
So we were just like chilling.
And that worked.
Yeah, for sure.
But it
that was on the Sunday, and then on the Friday, I can remember I was with so there was 4 of us. Now it was me and my manager. Then there was another guy, Martin, and then another friend of ours, and he was dressed like complete normal, and we had also planned this. So now I can't remember what we were wearing, but we were dressed like differently so you can get in, so you look cool, alternative. And then our fourth friend was just like dressed like a complete
Normal.
normie. So we're standing in the line, and he looks at me and he's like, "It's 2 und 2, like you two, us two, and them two." And I look at him, I'm like, 9, 9, 9. I'm like, 3 und 1. Like, you're going by yourself, bro. Like, you're gonna get me bounced from this place. The three of us get to the front. The bouncer asks, "Wie viel?" I say, 3. They let us in. I hear behind me, "Wie viel?" The guy's like, 1. He's like, "Leider nicht." Which is like, that's what you don't want to hear. Because the saying is usually like, "Heute leider nicht." So it's like, today, unfortunately not. That's like their thing. Either that or they
That's
say,
how
"Guest
heartless.
list."
Jeez. Yeah.
They
and
either
you
say,
start-
Yo,
yeah, that's literally the thing. If you hear "unfortunately not," or if they say "guest list," then you know, it's done for you, bro. Go find a different party.
I didn't even try. I didn't even have the balls to try when I was there last time. And everybody else said to me, "Oh, you got to go. It's going to be so much fun." I think it's a little like out of my league. You obviously go there for inspiration, and it sounds like a pretty wild place. I mean, that is as kind of cutting edge as you're going to get in terms of techno, right?
I mean, it's just like, yeah, it is crazy, but there's also like tons of other really cool parties in Berlin. Like, they just put a lot of effort into that. Obviously, they have what I've seen Joburg doesn't have. They have the feet, you know what I mean? They have all the tourists that
Lots
are
of
coming
people.
in. Yeah, you know
Lots
what I
of
mean? There's
people.
so many people
Well-
walking around and doing things. Obviously, you're always going to have people that are going to go out and party.
And the nice thing about Berlin too is that people from all over Europe will go there just for the weekend, and then they'll go back home. So they'll stay until the Monday,
Sure.
and then they'll go back. But they'll go to the Berghain on the Sunday, and a lot of people will come there every week for to try and get in, and sometimes they will, and
I
sometimes
think
they
it's
won't.
that thrill of will I get in? Will I not?
Oh yeah,
More
it's-
than
well,
anything.
The fact that we're talking about it now
100%.
means it obviously works, right?
I mean, it's definitely
always-
that, because let's say you've planned like you've flown, I guess even once or twice for me, from Africa, and then you end up there. You spend a lot of cash. Like, there's no guarantee you're gonna get in. So by
No.
the time you get to the front and they let you in, like, even if it's shit inside, you're gonna be so amped that you got inside, right? You're like,
Absolutely. No, for sure.
Shots,
when
shots.
I DJ'd, I was like, I had this idea, and I used to talk to all the club managers about it, and they just laugh at me. But I had this idea when I was a DJ to open up 2 clubs next to each other, one called Beautiful and one called Ugly, right? And Ugly, you get in for free, and the drinks are cheap. And Beautiful is very expensive, and you can't get in unless you're beautiful.
Okay.
And the drinks are super expensive too. But you create this demand, and people get judged purely on their appearance.
I
which
would
is
not want to be in
discrimination.
that ugly
No,
one.
But you hire some, like, I don't know, some modeling agency person to sit at the door and just discriminate for you. And then what you have inside the clubs, because they're next door to each other, is all the people from Beautiful are looking at mirrors, but actually the people in Ugly are looking through those mirrors at the people in Beautiful.
That is hectic, Gareth. People just want to party in peace. Like, I want to know if I made it onto the
don't-
list of
That would
being hot
definitely
or
work.
not.
I-
That's it.
It would work, right? Timo, it would
And then,
work.
especially if you then someone that couldn't get in, you charge them a premium. I bet you people will pay just to be in there.
I'm
People
telling
love
you,
that
dude.
so much, bro. Like,
People, you've seen this.
hated it.
You've been DJing for a long time, and you played all kinds of places all over the world. People will do anything to be the VVVIPist, right? So they will,
100%.
if there's a VIP, you create a VVIP. If there's a VVIP, you create an extra like special room where but they have to be able to be seen by everyone. It's no
Yes.
good. It's no good that they're hidden somewhere.
Sure.
They want people to see them. They want bottle service. They want to spend their
Sure.
money. They want people to see them spending their money. This is what people do.
My
And that's
only
when,
thing with
that's when you
that.
have a. Sorry, you go. Sorry.
Oh no, like my only thing with that is that it works for like when you're looking at beauty standards for chicks, because we all know chicks make guys spend money.
Yes.
So if you're in the beauty like club as
Mhm.
a hun, you already know that the guys are gonna
That's right. They're going to spend.
they're gonna go crazy, and that's all I want. I just want to make it onto that list for that.
That's exactly the point.
That's
So
it.
again, you're creating an artificial demand. Timo, let's open this place. Come on. Let's do it, dude.
Yeah.
You're the only person who's
I
ever
mean-
taken me seriously on this. Everybody else just laughs at me.
I don't think now's a good
Simphiwe.
time to open a club. Maybe we wait for summer.
Yeah, I think that's probably good. That's
it's-
very wise. That's wise.
It is a.
Listen,
It definitely
dude.
would work though. Like, I'm telling
it-
you, because like you have the VVIPs that will then, if you like you said,
Yeah.
you have the tiers. You get to the top tier, and that's when the bottle wars start. Because there's nowhere else to go. So now it's who has the most
Right.
bottles on the table.
But you also, one of the perks of being in the VIP, I thought about this, is that you can invite anyone from Ugly, if you feel sorry for them, to come and join you.
Oh, the
So if you-
pressure is getting
So if you
worse.
have it, like, let's say you got a friend who's like, she's dating a guy who's ugly, but he couldn't get into beautiful, but you are super VIP. So you can actually go, you could bring that poor asshole over there into this one. It's fine.
Are you going to divide the two clubs with like a massive glass wall? So that you
Yeah,
can-
but they can see this. So I don't want the beautiful people to have to look at the ugly ones, but I do want the ugly ones to be able to see the
one-way
beautiful
mirror.
ones.
One-way mirror.
One-way mirror. That's what I'm talking
Well,
about.
the beautiful people we all know will all be looking in the mirror most of the time anyway.
That's it, because they're vain, right? They're obsessed with themselves, so that you'll have these like women doing their makeup in the mirror and like smiling and looking at themselves the whole time, and meanwhile they're these disgusting people on the other side, like wiping their mouths, going, "Ah, she's really hot." You know, I'm telling you, this would work. You're such a winner, and you would see the best and the worst of humanity. People would line up, and there's no way that you can cheat.
But
the
you know,
system.
by the end of the night, you won't be able to tell who is in who.
No, but that's the point. That's the whole point. So what I thought is at like 2 a.m, you open up the doors between the two, right?
All right.
So that creates a whole different. So you can go to beautiful, and maybe you're a bit bored because all the people there are a bit stuck up or something, but you know at like 2, all the uglies are coming in with all their fun.
Yo. It's gonna be a champ. Because you know the one thing about ugly people, they have nothing to lose, right? So they're gonna get wasted. They're going to bring the vibe. They're gonna be like, "Shots, let's go, yo," and then pretty hugs
Guys,
are just there.
okay,
Like,
so-
oh my gosh.
Simphiwe, I'm giving you a third of the shares in the club. When you and Teemo and I open up
Sure.
beautiful and ugly, it's going to be a thing.
Sure.
Right. We might have to do it in Cape Town first. I don't think Joburg's ready for this.
no.
Joburg, there'll just be fights. There'll be fights because some oak will say, "What, you saying I'm not beautiful?" Start murdering the bouncer. Yeah.
100%.
Listen, it's very good to catch up with you, and I only wish you the best. Have an awesome time in Europe. Let us know when you get back about all your adventures, and great to catch up, dude.
Cool. Thank you for having me, man. Nice seeing you
Good
again.
to see you. Yeah, lots of nice comments about you here. Lots of people saying very cool things. So great to have you on the show. We will
Awesome.
catch up soon. Cheers, Teemo.
Cool.
There's
Have a lovely day,
Teemo
guys.
ODV. Cheers. Happy Friday. Teemo ODV. Good to catch up with him. So you also like my club idea,
I think it's actually a great one.
guys?
I can't believe I'm saying this.
I'm not. There's Teemo at his wedding. Isn't that beautiful?
Oh my
Oh, nice.
word.
Huh? I should have put that up while he was on.
He like cleans up very well, you know.
Yes, damn right.
Okay.
Here's when he was on the show in 2017.
Sure.
Jeez.
He actually looks older in that picture.
Yeah, he's looking quite good now.
Yeah.
I'd say he could get into beautiful. He doesn't have to go to the uglies, right? So Simphiwe, what if we do this seriously? Like,
Yes.
let's just take this business seriously, because we
Yes.
always come up with great business
But
ideas
this
on a
is the
Friday.
first one. I'm like,
You're
I
interested
see
in?
it.
Okay.
I see it, and it's
So
so
what
simple.
So do you want to troubleshoot? Like, what might the pitfalls be? What should we look out for here? Besides the obvious things about running a
So
club.
the thing is, when it comes to, I feel like when it comes to the female side, it's very easy to define what is beautiful, what is ugly, right?
No, but so what you have.
So what I'm saying, the trick is when it comes to the men, because we know men spend, but men are not attractive.
No, not in the same way that girls are.
Yeah, you get what I mean. So
Yes,
now it's finding out those matrix to say, okay, how do we actually say this man is
So,
fine? Because
easy.
also fine
I'll
guys
solve
don't
this
have
for you.
money. That's
So
the issue.
I'll solve this for you.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there'll also be older women who get into beautiful who have money who want to pay for younger guys.
But they
drinks,
don't spend
and
like
older
guys.
Men. Well, no, they don't.
Yeah.
But what you do is you have
Okay.
you have two people at the door judging.
Okay.
You have like a gay guy
Mhm.
who works for a modeling agency type vibe. He knows what to look for there.
Mhm.
And you have a guy who's just looking for the girls.
Okay.
And they both take care of each of those markets. And they can swap markets if they need to. So, you know, they're both going to have eyes for attractiveness.
Okay.
But then I'm thinking that the key here is also you can pay, but it's going to be very expensive to get into beautiful.
Yes, because also people like showing off those black cards.
Right.
You know what I
So-
mean?
So if you are ugly but very rich,
you know,
we'll make a plan.
Do
It's just,
you
it's
know
gonna
my
cost
slogan,
you.
Gareth? There's no ugly billionaire. There's none.
I think we can see. I think we can see how Simphiwe will be setting up her own court in Beautiful and waiting for a husband.
I'll definitely make sure that I take care of all the people in VVIP.
Hey, can we just talk about something quickly before we get to George? He's coming in this morning. Jane baked scones and muffins for us the other day, Jane Malachi. And this was quite an event. You could have seen it if you followed us on social media. We put it on all our social media.
Yes.
So Jane is an amazing baker. I didn't know this. Her
Yes.
scones were first class, absolutely amazing. We had no real occasion for it. She just decided somewhere in the beginning of the week, because it was so cold, she's like, I'm going to bake.
Yes.
So we all obviously went, yes, let's do it.
And she did not disappoint. The scones were absolutely divine. Like, ooh. And then she did scones and muffins, and the muffins went dry. And I don't know, I think someone like, there's something happened, because I think a few weeks ago we had an event and she just kept complaining about how the muffins were dry. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to teach you guys. I'm going to show you how muffins are supposed to taste like. And then she just baked for us, and it was absolutely divine. Like, oh, us Jane, guys. Oh,
no, she's good. She knows her stuff.
and she did it all from scratch. So,
Again, we go back to something I came up with on the show earlier this week. I said that cooking is more difficult than chemistry. And
Yeah.
I stand by that. And Jane has proven it. So
yes.
what she can do to make scones, for example, is something I couldn't do in a laboratory. So one other thing I want to throw in here. This is a very alarming development. So what is the point of Uber?
To get you from point A to B.
But why wouldn't you just drive your own car?
Some people don't have cars.
Or
They,
they drink.
yes, too
Okay,
drunk.
so look at this stupid headline I saw. It's from Metro in the UK. Uber will soon know if you're drunk and could refuse to pick you up. So someone commented that defeats the whole point of Uber.
Like, the whole point is so I can get super wasted and get home safely.
What a stupid, isn't this the stupidest thing ever?
I can tell you now that was by someone who doesn't drink and has never gone out for a draw with friends and just
Now they work for Uber.
dude. And it's just like, what the hell's going
Do
on?
you know what your business is?
Like, do you know? Like, I know that you guys don't. Maybe you don't know this, but let me tell you, as you know, someone who uses this particular service, is that it's for the drunkards, guys. Actually, they make their most money. I promise you, at like concerts, at festivals, where people get super hammered. And they're like, I need to get home.
Yeah.
And then they just
Uber.
requesting. And then the Uber prices are always at like
Sky high.
sky high, because they know that's the business.
That's right.
So no.
All right. So there's a couple of comments here, and these may be useful if we're going to do this business with Beautiful and Ugly,
Sure.
right? So a couple of things. First of all, Parallel Parking says you need 3 clubs. You need Beautiful, Ugly, and Rich. And maybe Rich is between the two.
Yeah, you see,
You build it like a circle with an inner
Okay.
circle, and the inner circle is Rich. Huh?
I like that.
What do you think?
I like that.
All right. And then Carl says you need a proper hottie like Leanne Liebenberg to be your brand ambassador for Beautiful. And then a
Yes.
really ugly girl like Patabile Tami needs to be your ugly ambassador.
And then we just need to find the millionaire for the guys, you know, so that they know, you know.
Hello, George. How are you doing, George? Let me switch on your mic there. There we go.
There we go. Ah,
How are you? It's
All right,
nice
and
to have
you?
you in studio.
it is. It is.
This is fun.
Freezing.
Fun on
freaking
a
cold.
Friday.
Yeah.
Did you manage to get through the traffic without freezing your hands off on the steering wheel, or do you wear gloves when you drive like a proper motoring enthusiast from the 1930s?
No, I don't do that.
You don't wear gloves?
No.
I have a pair of gloves in my car.
Really?
Only this week. I don't carry them around usually.
Are they leather or?
Leather.
So you
I
got a
felt-
bit of stuff.
I felt quite smart driving in this morning with the gloves on, but it's
Also, that's just so
it's only 'cause
weird.
I
It looks like,
remembered.
are you getting rid of a body or something? Like
No,
getting out the
man.
car with gloves on. It's just
nothing worse than cold hands.
Yeah.
And also, people used to wear gloves because they thought that the car was a dirty thing, right?
Yeah,
And it used to be.
I think it was also to do with sunburn and sunspots from holding the steering wheel.
Oh, really? Is that it? Liver spots. I'm just checking now. Oh, shit. Got to wear the gloves. All right. Very good. So
Yeah.
how are you, George? What's been happening?
Good. I've been relatively consistent with my cold plunges.
Ben was saying he's missed out the whole of this week and he's very grumpy about it.
Yeah, you get
You do it every day?
Probably 3 to 4 times a week.
Okay.
I try and be consistent at
Very good.
not under 3.
You feel it's improved your life?
Definitely.
This sounds very culty. Hey? No one has anything bad to say about these cold plunges. Like,
It's all anybody in that world is talking about at the moment. It's a big thing.
It definitely works. I mean, and it's not like a magic pill.
No,
It's almost like subtle. It really wakes you up in the morning. You feel alert when you do it. And the other morning when I got in the pool, water must have been 13, 14 degrees,
okay,
which is cold. And as I got in, I realized, hold on a second, there's a certain level of cold where any colder doesn't matter.
Where do you think that is? Degrees?
I think that's in the lower teens.
Really?
So your body's...
Do you mean you wouldn't be able to tell then whether it's 4 degrees or 12?
Well, I haven't been in below 5. So maybe below 5 is, you can feel it, and maybe Ben can tell us. But
hey, George, just sorry to change the subject, but this is Simphiwe and I are completely perplexed by this. What's the point of Uber if they don't pick up drunk people? You saw this in the headline. We were just talking about it now. What the hell's the point?
Well, you know what? I think maybe drunk people can act stupid. Maybe there's a level of drunk
well,
that they should pick up.
I guess I know.
Sanela says that is not right, because people can't throw up in their own cars. They have to go to work on the next day. See, this is ridiculous. All right, so what have we got in the world of motoring, George?
So in Michigan the other day, beginning of July, as a matter of fact, an armored truck rolled on the interstate. But what this armored truck was filled with was coins.
Sure.
So the back door was flung open when this armored truck rolled, and there were coins all over the highway.
You know how people in South Africa, when a milk truck or something breaks down, they all like climb in, and then suddenly you have a free for all, and people are scooping it up into buckets.
They get buckets. Yes. Yeah. And they call a friend to be like, hey, skin.
But out of nowhere. So the truck turns over. The driver goes, I don't think anyone saw this. I'm going to call off the head office, and I'm going to tell them that I've turned the truck over. Something happened. But within 5 seconds, out of nowhere, on an abandoned piece of road in the middle of the Free State, suddenly 1,000 people pitch up with buckets. How does that work? We got to figure. I'll tell you what, we'll save lives. If we can figure out how that works, then anytime there's an accident, whoever those people are and however that works, they could come to their rescue and more lives would be saved. Am I wrong?
You're right.
No, it needs to be Gareth, the whole thing is it needs to be beneficial to me. There could be an accident, but if there's no things left there, like coins or milk,
coins is a good one.
Alcohol, like why am I going to help? Like it's not beneficial for me.
But how does the message get out so quickly? You know what I mean, George?
No, I know what you mean. People just appear. I've seen it happen on highways as well. People just appear, and then and by the time the emergency services get there, the place is cleaned up except for the bodies.
Yeah, it's totally. There's no evidence that there was ever a spill.
Yeah,
it's amazing. All right, so this thing spilled coins all over the place.
Rear doors flew open and scattering bags of coins and various bins it was carrying all over the crash site. So, coins. I don't think I've ever heard of a cash in transit truck in South Africa crashing and spilling money all over the place.
Well, no, usually they get robbed before they have a chance to crash. But imagine you're driving behind a cash in transit van, and you suddenly see like money pouring out of the back, and notes, like wads of 100 Rand notes.
But you know, the first sound they would have heard was something like hitting the car, and they're like, "What the fuck is that?" And then after it's like, "Oh, I don't mind this."
Then you pull over and you pick up everyone along the way.
Somebody said to me yesterday, one of my customers, I was on the phone to a customer, and he says to me, "Have you seen the new 100 Rand note?" I said, "No." He said, I could make a better copy on my inkjet printer.
No, really? Is it
Apparently,
bad?
It's so bad.
Does it
No, the new money looks fake.
Well,
I think it looks like fake.
But then people are going to copy it, and they're going to make better versions themselves.
Oh, wow.
Apparently, this thing's bad. It's not great. I've not seen one in real life, but apparently it's really bad.
All right, what else you got for us?
The Barbie movie.
Yay!
I knew this was going to come up again. We've done this already this morning, but go on.
Well, I've got a different take on the Barbie movie. So Barbie drives a pink Chevrolet Corvette.
Mhm.
Simphiwe knew that. I didn't know.
No, it's just
So
like it's in my world now.
Okay,
Like,
all right.
That pink convertible. right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a sister company. No shareholding relation. We're totally separate, but we know each other. We like step kids.
Okay.
AutoTrader in the UK.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay. So this is not happening in South Africa. Our stats don't show it because we don't have these cars. But the Chevrolet Corvette, searches for the Chevrolet Corvette in the UK has surged by 120% ever since the Barbie movie's trailer is about to come out.
Yeah, but those 13-year-olds can't drive and they can't buy cars. So what's the point?
And apparently Google search data shows that the term Barbie movie car is up by 450%.
Again, 13-year-olds can't be buying cars. So it's
I
not
just-
going
I
to
disagree.
result in business.
I'm not 13 and I've been searching like all about Barbie. I'm just saying.
People whose brains are 13. Like I said. All right. Okay.
So,
So this is obviously, and Simphiwe did give credit, and I've got to say, Pumi alerted me to this like 2 or 3 weeks ago. They really are marketing this thing very cleverly, right? It's going to result in enormous sales of Barbies, of Barbie accessories, Barbie clothing,
Yes.
Barbie color things, Barbie houses. It's going to turn, this is a big wave of marketing. Like very few things have been marketed recently.
I you know what they seem to be doing, and I heard this about another movie. I can't remember the movie's name the other day. Oh, Oppenheimer. The movie Oppenheimer. Nothing to do with Oppenheimer in South Africa. The guy that apparently created
He used the atom bomb, developer,
yes.
the Manhattan Project, leader of that.
So what production studios, I mean, you'll know the terms better than I do, but what production studios are now doing is they creating a lead time. There's a term for it where it comes out in the movie and it doesn't hit Netflix or DVDs for a certain period of time.
It's like an exclusivity for
period.
the cinemas. Yeah.
So Oppenheimer's doing one for apparently 6 months.
Huh.
Okay. And it seems like the Barbie movie is doing a similar thing, whereas they feed you little tidbits as a marketing exercise to create a bit of hype around the movie itself. So I think it's a whole marketing phenomenon.
With Barbie, the tidbits they don't have nipples.
I did not see that coming.
They're just shaped like that, but there's nothing on them.
I did not see that coming. So and then finally I brought some trivia, seeing as we enjoyed that.
We did. We had a lot of fun with this.
Okay, so
you can't look at the answer.
No,
Okay, Simphiwe, you're not allowed to cheat.
I'm looking at Gareth. Okay, let's go.
Let's play, George. Let's go.
What year was the first electric traffic light invented?
Gareth, go first.
Someone told me the other day this was invented by an African-American man whose name escapes me. But if you had to guess, because I don't know the answer on this one, I'd say it's somewhere in the 1920s.
I'll go 1930s.
Okay, Gareth wins 1912.
I'm a bit closer. Not great, but I'm a bit closer. All right, I'll take the win. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, studio audience. Very nice. Your next question, George.
What is the world's largest automotive company?
Ooh, largest. Would it not be Mercedes?
Nope.
General Motors or VW? Or wait, I haven't thought about Japan. Korea. Wait a second. What about India?
Ooh, Nazo.
Ooh, this is difficult. It's not going to be like the French or the Italians. Jeez, George, I'm going to go with General Motors.
Okay, and it's because you're thinking of a car maker. So it was automotive company, which is Continental AG.
Oh, the tire people, right?
Yeah, they do
them?
tires. They do. They do brakes,
damn it.
chassis. They do control systems, whole bunch of
Sure.
automotive things. They're the biggest automotive company in the
Sure.
world.
I would never guess that.
Okay. What car was the first mass-produced car? You should get this.
Model T Ford.
That's correct.
Sorry, Simphiwe, I didn't give you a chance. Sorry. I'm going to take that one. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. That was definitely a win for me. Thank you. That's about right. Okay.
Then companies come up with slogans, right?
Mhm.
Which car company
Some of-
uses the following slogan?
All right.
The ultimate driving machine.
Mm.
Hmm.
There was an ultimate driving pleasure. Wasn't that BMW at one point? Fairly sure it was.
I don't know.
Ultimate
slogans.
driving machine.
I don't know. slogans.
Oh,
Simphiwe?
come on. Simphiwe, go. You go guess this one first.
It sounds like a very expensive car, I guess. So I will go with like the German people. BMW. Let's go with that.
Okay, BMW is the answer.
Ah.
Ultimate driving machine. Well done.
Very good. Okay. Good. I wouldn't have guessed that.
And then we've got to end on one that's not going to be a conundrum. What car does Batman drive?
I should know this.
I know this. Can I go with this?
Yes.
The Batmobile.
Yes, the Batmobile.
What did you throw in the lower grade question at the end? You put in the easy question at the end, what, just to mess with us?
Like, I should know this because
Oh,
I watched
wow.
Batman, but
All right, thank you very much. All right, George, that's
it.
lots of fun.
Awesome.
What a way to end this Friday morning. It's been insane from the moment that Simphiwe and I arrived and we couldn't figure out our microphones until when George comes with a stupid question like the Batmobile. Unbelievable. What a way to start your Friday. Have an awesome weekend, everybody. Be good, and we will see you on Monday at 6